morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm JJ. Where's the camera? Camera's there. I'm JJ. That's Deacon, and we are your internet dads. And we meet here Monday through Friday to talk about stuff in the news. A lot of times it's political, but sometimes it's not. Like this morning, we have and I think at least one very interesting show. Morning, Deke. How are you?
Hi, sir. You have a big fuzzy thing on your microphone now. It looks cool.
Yeah, you told me to do this. My wife was like, "Why did you order a dead rat?" And I was like, I spent $10 because Deke told me to. And then I was like, oh my God, we were at the park the other day and there was a dead squirrel. I literally could have saved $10 and just put a squirrel tail on this thing. And my wife was like, I'm going to throw up. I picked the squirrel tail up with the stick and I was walking around the park with my wife. I was like, Cass, do you want to see this? Science, nature.
Cool. I have two outside cats. One's a little kitten. It's not a kitten, but it's a kitten, it's bigger. And it will bring up squirrels. There's at least 4 that we've come outside. And there's a tail, list of tail.
Yeah, just the tail.
Just the tail.
Maybe some bones. Not much left.
What a way to start the show. Good morning.
What a way.
But your voice does sound better. I can already tell.
Oh, well. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Folks, if you haven't already, have your cup of coffee. Let's talk about some interesting stuff. Now, we do have some politics stuff, but we're going to start there because the title card is a very interesting pig bot. A pig bot with a brain in a jar, right? Look at this. This is a real news story. Well, there's nothing to see, so I'll just read it to you. Scientists revived a pig's brain nearly an hour after it died. Okay. First of all, scientists, mad scientists, maybe. Scientists revived, they killed these pigs, and then at different increments of time, they plugged the brains into some life support system, and then they turned them back on. Doesn't that sound crazy? Scientists have revived activity in the brains of pigs up to an hour after circulation had ceased. In some cases, the functionality was sustained for hours through a surprising discovery by researchers in... Deke, do you want to guess where this was? Do you want to guess what country revived pigs' brains?
How many guesses do I get?
I'll give you 3 guesses.
You give me 3 guesses. Okay.
3 guesses.
China!
Oh, you got it in one. You got it in one. You got it in one, sir. This achievement, okay, so China is working on super soldiers and Wu flu warfare.
So super soldiers, you need to define super soldiers because we got 2 or 3 categories of super soldiers that the Chinese are supposedly working on. Number 1 is they have successfully messed with DNA. All right.
Right.
Look, and those little girls that had this disease, this hereditary disease, and they took the disease out of the DNA.
Yeah, genetically engineered human beings.
Genetically engineered these girls, and then he got in trouble, and he was like, I don't care about getting in trouble. I help these little girls. So if they're doing that, you know what else they're doing genetically. Not only that, but with AI and basically a free-for-all, no restriction for AI. If we are taking spider corpses and turning them into little, have you seen those
little grabby bots? Yeah, we watched that on the show. It's a little grab bot
with
so let's compare the 2 things.
What I'm getting at is Americans' possibility that we're going to put AI into this.
Our scientists put an air pump into a spider butt and just made the claws open and close. Their scientists took a dead pig and turned it back on. So I'm just saying.
Hang on, I got to talk here. I got to talk, but I'm
going to read some of this. This is from Owen. Well, it's not. He's posting it from Science Alert magazine, but I'm reading it from Owen Gregorian. The achievement represents a huge step forward in working out how to restore brain function after a patient has suffered a cardiac arrest. It suggests that doctors may be able to widen the brief window for successful resuscitation of patients following cardiac arrest. The trick is incorporating the patient's unharmed liver, which is the organ that the body uses to purify blood, into the life support system that is used to revive the brain after the time has elapsed. Sudden cardiac arrest causes a lot of problems in the body due to rapid cessation of blood flow. The subsequent drop in circulation to the parts of the body is called ischemia. Ischemia. And when it occurs in the brain, it can cause serious irreparable damage within minutes. This is why the resuscitation window for cardiac arrest is very, very, very short. So let's see. Using 17 lab-raised Tibetan mini pigs, the team compared the inclusion of a liver in the loss of circulation. In one set of experiments, the two groups of pigs were subjected to brain ischemia for 30 minutes. So they turned the pigs off and stopped circulation to the brain for 30 minutes. One of the groups was also subjected to liver ischemia, so they didn't keep the liver on. And the other, they plugged the liver into the life support system. When the pigs were euthanized and their brains examined, the control group had the least brain damage, but the group that had not been subjected to liver ischemia showed significantly less brain damage than the group that had. So there was still brain damage in both pigs, but if you keep the liver on, then the brain works better. The basic life support system involved an artificial heart and lungs to help pump fluid through the brain. For one group, a pig's liver was integrated into the system known as the liver-assisted brain normothermic machine perfusion. All right, so this is just crazy. Chinese scientists reviving dead pigs. The team experimented with different delays too, connecting brains to the liver-assisted system in intervals of 30 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, and 240 minutes. The longest interval that showed the most promise was 50 minutes after being deprived of blood. The brain restarted electrical activity and was maintained in that state for 6 hours until they turned the pigs off again. So, well, my point is that we might be actually heading to like the Futurama world where you just have your head in a jar. You know, you live forever.
Well, maybe
they put your head on a robot, and you just got a little liver and a little brain, and you just walk around as a robot person.
You're a meat robot right now. There is a movie that was made in the early 2000s. I think it was a Japanese movie, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it was like a dystopian future that they had invented a way to genetically grow body parts, and it was a business. Like, so the guy was like ended up being like a clone. He found out, he thought he was real, but he was actually a clone, and he goes into this place and there's like all these arms I can't remember what it was.
Well, how old is this movie?
It came out around in between the first Matrix and the second Matrix. Probably the early 2000s.
I think I have your movie.
Oh my God, do you really? If you tell me the name of it, I think it's just like one word.
Hold on. I got it right here. Let me. Is this the movie? No, that's the wrong. Here, this. Let me full screen this thing. Hang on.
Jeez, Ryan Seacrest, hurry up!
I know. Well, I didn't know we were doing this. Look at this.
By the middle of the 21st century, organ failure had become a worldwide epidemic.
I think this is it.
But GeneCo was there to satisfy the demand for organ replacements. The problem is, if you miss a payment, GeneCo sends out the repo man. And when he finds you,
pay for your liver.
Your time.
You better keep your payments up to date. This is called Repo the Genetic Opera.
Oh no, this is not it.
Just past due.
Oh, this is not it.
Everybody, oh yeah.
No.
Just stand up. People.
Oh, that's too bad because this movie's pretty fun. I don't know why we don't make awesome movies anymore. Repo the Genetic Opera.
It's that same dystopian type future.
Yeah,
it's like the same story.
Actually, I think I'm thinking of another one too. There's a summer movie. I can't remember the other name. Does it have like like a kind of famous actor in the one that you're talking about?
No, this is a bunch of Japanese guys you never heard of.
Oh, okay.
I remember my co-host on the radio
there's a-
station. My co-host at the radio station at the time was a big movie nerd, and he wanted to display that he was a movie nerd to everyone. So he would watch all these foreign films and whatnot, and so he would always try to get you to watch them. He was one of those people that tried to be something so bad that he really wasn't himself. He tried to fit into a role so bad that wasn't him that you were just like, dude, just be yourself. Quit trying to fit into a role. You're
Look
not
at
that
this. I
person.
can't there's like a whole genre of movies.
Yeah.
Here's another one with Jude Law in a movie called Repo Man. It's the same thing. Like organs can be bought on credit, and if you don't pay, we're gonna come get them back. This is like a whole subgenre of film. I had no idea. All right. That movie was better than Repo, the Genetic Opera, but the other one had more style.
That's
All right.
crazy. Nice story there with the pig brain starting off.
Pig brain. Yeah, I just think they could take that brain, put it in a robot, and we'll have pig bots. Instead of AI, it would be better to have pig bots and then put guns on pig bots and let them go do their thing. Right?
What if you had this?
Oh, let me
Hang on.
make you moderator. Hang on.
Yeah, make me moderator.
Moderate you. JJ, why don't you do this before the show? Because we literally both joined this show like 1 minute before we go live every day. That's why.
Because it's a conversation.
Yeah.
What if you have one of these?
Oh man. I was always a not a Ninja Turtles person. I was too old for it, but my kid brother, younger brother,
I'm the same.
was kind of
it's me and you are the same.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
Logan was 5
oh.
years younger than me, and he was really into Ninja Turtles. So
I know
we kind of,
Turtles
me
names.
and you kind of got it by proxy.
Yeah, that's kind of, so I'm familiar with it, but I've never been into it. Although I did
Right.
watch the Ninja Turtles movies in the theaters, especially the one with Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I mean that was the thing back in the day. But you're right. We were the generation right in front of it. It was our little brothers and sisters that got it because we were like 12, 13, 14.
Right.
We were getting into other stuff at the time. I did see a really cool thing the other day that was talking about the Ninja Turtles that I was like, man, that's really interesting. It was talking about how you know how Raphael was real hot-headed, and always wanted, start fights and stuff. So his weapons are the Sai, a pure defensive weapon. It's a defensive weapon. It's not an offensive
3 points
weapon.
on it. Poke, poke, poke.
But it's a defensive weapon. It's the block.
Is it really?
You don't stab with it or anything. It's a blocking weapon. So Michelangelo was reckless and, careless and, always kind of. So he's given the nunchucks that take concentration and skill to use. Donatello was the technology guy. He's literally given a stick. And Leonardo, the leader, is the only one that has lethal weapons because he is the one that has to decide when to use lethality and when to not to. And I was like, oh, that's really deep, man. That's pretty cool.
I cannot believe that much thought went into it initially. I think it was probably like, let's just draw these 4 turtles and give them all a cool, different looking weapon.
But it very well could have been.
Right. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Eastman and Laird. That's who it was, right? Eastman and Laird. They invented that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. Ninja Turtles.
All right. The Avatar: The Last Airbender cartoon. All 4 of the fighting stances for the different elements of the people, they're all based on real life fighting styles because the Airbender is using like Aikido, where it's very flowy. Right. And then the Earthbenders use a different style that's got very forceful movements. It's really interesting when you look at. So I mean, to get into a deep storytelling and story creating, yeah, I can see them doing something like that in the Ninja Turtles, and it's like an Easter egg. Maybe they'll never find it.
So Avatar was developed for TV. I could believe that a lot more of like intentionality. At first, it came out like many years later, so I can believe a lot more intentionality went into that.
Yeah, the cartoon is fantastic. The one on Netflix, the first season of Netflix is really good. I don't have any complaints. I just have one complaint about it, but they changed a part of the story that kind of pissed me off for no reason.
The Ninja Turtles, though, that started as a black and white comic book. So that was just two guys just like making a comic book. So I just think that there wasn't that much resources available.
But if this is true, which I thought it always was, it kind of gives credence to maybe that is true with the weapons. But didn't the guys that created the Ninja Turtles, didn't the Ninja Turtles created in the same accident that Daredevil was created?
That is backfill. Well, that's, yeah.
Was it? I mean, is it canon or was it made canon afterwards?
No, that's canon in the Ninja Turtles because that they were big fans of Daredevil. So Splinter, Splinter is sort of a parody of Stick from Daredevil, who's the one that trained to Daredevil, and then the Daredevil is always fighting the hand of the Ninja Clan, the hand. So the foot is the Ninja Turtle foot, is the Ninja Clan in the Turtles. So yeah,
I forgot about the foot. Right. How did we get off on nerdy stuff? I like talking about it. We have a nerdy show.
We started with Pigbot, Pig Brain.
Let's go back to some political stuff. You had some stuff here about the registered to vote and with the Georgia audit and whatnot. I interviewed while you're getting that ready. I interviewed our local county clerk yesterday as we got off the air here.
Right.
That was the interview that I had to do. Our regular host wasn't here, and I asked her beforehand about all of the goings on and whatnot, and she kind of gave me that generic, well, because she's an official of the county, an elected official, and she was like, well, you can't believe everything, and she kind of gave me a generic kind of middle of the road answer sitting out here. But I think I know what she was doing. I think she was trying to feel me out to see which side of the fence that I leaned on. And once she realized what side of the fence I leaned on later on in the conversation, we realized that we both leaned on the same side of the fence. So she opened up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But she told me that the way that we do it is not the way that they're showing that it's being done with the computer down there. We will go in, you get this little thing, you scan the barcode, it prints out a blank ballot with all of the names, but it's blank. You go in, you mark it with a pen.
Okay.
You go over, you feed the pen, you feed it into a machine, and that machine records it.
How do you know that it recorded correctly what you fed?
That's what I asked her. And she said that they are normally audited, in regular elections, but because of this one, there's been crazy freaking scrutiny that's going around everywhere. So they have random audits and all this stuff. It was interesting. So, I mean, she gave me an answer. I was satisfied with the answer, but my brain wants to keep asking questions, but I didn't want to offend her.
I don't know how to get this going, but I want something different in our elections systems, all of them. And this is what I want. Cause right now, because I talked to my election officials too. And I was like, how do I know that what I printed out and put into that system, what mechanism is there for me to go back and check? And they're like, oh, well, you go to the ballot and it prints it out, and then you can look at that paper and then you put it in the machine. But I'm like, but how do I, that's for you to have the paper ballot and you go check it. How do I, as a citizen, go back and check and make sure after the fact that my vote is recorded just like I said it was supposed to be? How do I, that's for you to have the paper ballot and you go check it. How do I, as a citizen, go back and check and make sure after the fact that my vote is recorded just like I said it was supposed to be? How do I How do I leave and independently do that? There's no system to do that, which does not make sense to me.
Yeah, she was talking about how it blows her mind that in California you could just go in without an ID and vote. And I was like, I know that's that the way that we've always done it. I can't imagine you even getting past the desk. You know, I have to stand in line, go to a desk, show them my ID. They used to go through a book and find my name with my signature and everything on it.
Right.
No.
Okay, so we got this. We got a couple of stories here. One is Georgia has done an audit and they found 20. You might say only 20, but okay, maybe there's only 20 they found. The Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger reported that an audit found 20 non-citizens registered among 8.2 million voters.
That's still 20.
Yeah, that's 20.
That's still 20.
That's 20. And he confirmed that all 20 registrations have been canceled, so they are now not registered. And
plus, I don't believe that
cases
number.
Are forwarded to criminal charges. None of the 20 citizens voted in this election, but 9 had participated in prior elections. Oh, okay. So, but it can't happen because it's illegal and it's not possible. Doesn't 20 out of 8.2 million seem absurdly low and unreasonable? That does not sound reasonable or real, that there's only 20. Okay, well, let's go to another state, Iowa. Iowa finds several dozen instances of non-citizens voting in a past election. Iowa Secretary of State Paul Pate, his office reported that dozens of non-citizens voted or registered to vote in past elections, despite being ineligible. Pate stated that Iowa's voting system has a good track record and lacks evidence of widespread fraud. The office referred to around 150 individuals who self-reported as non-citizens to Iowa Attorney General Brenna Bird for prosecution. Okay, so several dozen out of I don't know how many million. Okay, well that's okay. All right. And let's see, where's my other one? I had one more. Let me find my last one. I'll just have to. Let's see. Yep, here it is right here. We'll go with this one. Ken Paxton is now suing the federal government over voter citizenship verification.
There we go.
So get this. Paxton said on October 7th, he sent a letter to the federal government to verify the citizenship status of people who may be illegally registered to vote. Paxton said a list of 450,000 voters was provided and the federal government did not verify the voters. So the federal government said when people come to register to vote, you can obviously use your state ID, your Texas state license, but if they don't want to use their state ID to verify, then you can use this federal system called SAVE, S-A-V-E. And so we did what the federal government said. We were using the SAVE system to verify people that are registering to vote. And then we send that data into the federal government, like, okay, is this a citizen? And the federal government is not verifying people. They're not confirming and they're not denying and they're not doing their job. So, and now 450,000, that's more than 20. That's more than a couple of dozen. That is a huge number. And it's more in line with what I kind of expect from, the kind of policies that we have in place. Right now when they come into the country and they have to sign up on the CBP One app or whatever, that they literally are handed like voter registration information in some cases. Let's see. Well, anyway, okay. So that's the
I got a fun Walt
That's the-
story for you.
That's the news going on. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Waltz is a fun guy.
Oh, you're gonna
Has he
like
shot
this.
anybody or anything?
Well, it's funny you say that. Has he shot anybody? Because if he did, would he hit them? That is the question. Now, that was a great segue, JJ. You were were in the Army, right?
I was.
Were you a marksman? Did you have the marksman badge?
Okay, so there are 3 levels of badges.
Right.
Okay, for the riflemanship, there's marksman, there's expert, and then there's like
sharpshooter. Sharpshooter's in the middle.
Sharpshooter and eagle eye.
Yeah.
And they call it expert, but we call it eagle eye. I don't remember which one I qualified with because it's been 20 years, but I know that I absolutely had at least a sharpshooter badge. I think I had the expert shot badge.
Okay.
But it's been a long time.
Well, I'm going to refresh your memory here a little bit. So this comes from at 82nd Airborne BT, Paratrooper Brady on X. He says he is throwing up more stolen valor from Tim Waltz. After listening to Tim Waltz brag about he is such a skilled shooter, I decided to look if he was an expert marksman in the military. It turns out he doesn't even have a marksman badge at all or authorized to wear one, but wore one on his Class A uniform anyway. In the Army or National Guard, soldiers are required. In the Army or National Guard, soldiers are required to qualify with their M4 rifle or M16. The qualification course is made up of 40 targets ranging from 50 meters to 300 meters, popping up randomly. You're given 2 20-round magazines totaling 40 rounds. Soldiers are required to qualify once a year to keep their current status. Marksmen hit 23 to 29 out of 40. A sharpshooter, you hit 30 to 35 out of 40. And the expert, you hit 36 to 40 out of 40. It's no surprise that Tim Waltz decided to pick the expert marksmanship badge since it's not easy to get. See the pics below. I used my own DD214 to show what it's supposed to look like if you are authorized to wear one. See how Tim Waltz awards are listed, but it does not have any marksmanship badges awarded. Then it says nothing follows. That means he doesn't have a continuation on awards to a new block for more room like mine does. The NGB 22 should mirror the DD214, and it should look like mine. I find it extremely disrespectful to soldiers who actually earned their awards. Look below at the comments for the 3 types of marksmanship badges the Army awards you. There's old Timmy boy, and you can see.
So
you can see right
I don't
there.
want to. I don't want to show my DD214, but I just looked it up because it has like identifying information on it or whatever. But
don't show it.
The decorations that I am authorized, me personally, are good conduct, Army service ribbon, overseas service ribbon, sharpshooter marksmanship badge for grenade, and marksmanship for M16. So I had the sharpshooter for grenade. I didn't realize it was for grenade. I knew I had a sharpshooter badge, and I guess I wasn't all that hot of a shot with the M16. I only had a marksman badge. And that's on my
there's
last DD214.
So there you go. There's just that guy's opinion.
That guy's opinion. I mean, listen, isn't the Democratic narrative that we are to believe all women? So if Tim Waltz says that he's an expert shot, then who am I to question her, him, it, they, whatever. In a partial victory for satire, the Babylon Bee is advancing a lawsuit against California censorship law. We've talked about this law a couple of times on the show. Yeah. The Babylon Bee, which is super funny, and if you're not following it on Twitter or go to their website, you ought to be, is continuing with its lawsuit against California deepfake law that would require social media companies to block deceptive content about politicians, noting its partial victory in a ruling against the state's other political deepfake law in October. Given that the law applies to federal elections that include California, such as president, the lawsuit could have a national free speech implication. Earlier this year, Elon Musk shared an AI-generated parody video of Kamala Harris which manipulated a voice in an ad that basically it made her sound like she was telling the truth when she never does. And let's see. Do we have oh boy. The Bee's lawsuit against AB 2655 alleges that the bill converts social media platforms into California state snitches by requiring them to field reports about user posts with its materially deceptive content and then remove or label them and targets political expression. I mean, like, how does the state, if they're going to say you can't do that because it's not true, then who gets to decide what's true? Is it the state?
Right.
So, I mean, that's ladies and gentlemen, this is America. You can say whatever you want.
Well, no, you can't.
What can you not say?
The woman the nurse that worked at the hospital close to me 3 or 4 years ago that got on the internet and said what she wanted. And then the Black Lives Matter people called her hospital and said that if they didn't fire her, they would protest, and they fired her. And then they told all the other medical places around here that they do the same thing. And this woman couldn't get a job for a while because of something she said on the internet. And that's
but that wasn't the government. That wasn't the government that did that. That was a terrorist group that was keeping her from working by harassing employers.
That
and
the
that
government
terrorist group
that
had
our government officials like promoted.
Okay, and the terrorist group was not prevented by the government from speaking either. So I'm not saying that woman was obviously done wrong, but she was not done wrong by the government.
We could give countless hypothetical, or not hypothetical, but countless theoretical examples of these stories that we hear of these people that say something and then they have an accident.
There can be consequences to speech, but but the government with the power to put you in jail does not have the right to stop you from speaking.
That doesn't stop them. There are loopholes.
That's why we have courts. That's why we have courts.
That's why we have courts, and your court date is going to be 2028.
That's true.
Because we're so busy.
True.
We're so busy.
Well, this is why Babylon Bee is fighting on your behalf. And if you want to have free speech and want to make fun of Kamala Harris, then you need to go follow the Babylon Bee and support them. That's what I say. Also, while you're on the internet, you can also follow the Internet Dads on rumble.com and on X. So, okay, let's see. We did this, and I'm going to have to leave pretty soon. I want to do one more story because I thought this was, I turned this on and, you know, like it's been we don't always cover trans stuff, but we cover trans stuff a lot of times because like, I don't want my kids to be like competing against men or whatever. And there's a trans story of a trans athlete that was like, I'm not a woman. I shouldn't be in the women's sports. And I saw that and I was like, yeah, I just don't want to hear him talk though. So, but I saw this other story and this made me kind of like, oh geez, I'm not happy about this. This is a woman. This is posted on the Post Millennial. A New Jersey woman says she feels violated after an encounter with a fully intact trans woman that's a man in a women's only spa. So here we go. This is her. I'm gonna just play a little of it, but she was shook up.
I can't
She's
hear
talking
her.
about her daily thing. Oh, you cannot hear her?
Uh-uh.
Let me start it over here. Let's see. How do I turn this off? Turn it back on. Do that. Put your left foot in. Put your left foot out. She starts off by describing her routine when she's stressed out or had a bad week or whatever. And when she's had a bad week, a bad time or whatever, she goes to this particular spa. She's been going there for 8 years. She goes to this spa. She soaks in the hot tub. She does, I don't know, lemons on her eyes or whatever they do, whatever women do in these things. And it was kind of like her like refuge space. And it was women only on one side, men only on the other side. She should be able to go into the women's locker room and feel safe.
You can enter through the men's locker room, and they have their own side with their own hot tubs and stuff. And then there's a women's side, which you can enter through our locker room, and it's only women in there. So today I come in, I soak, I go get my massage, I get ready to go back into the like bathhouse for women, and I walk in and I see a penis and chest hair and a low haircut. So I freak out and I run out. And I go to the people that work there. I'm like, oh my goodness, I think somebody came into the wrong side or something. There's a man in there. Now there's also all women working in there. So they all look at me in discomfort, and you can tell they're embarrassed, and they're just like, it's a trans woman. So now I'm in shock. Sorry. I'm in shock because this person saw me completely naked, without my consent. And I saw,
she's breaking up right here. Like her voice is breaking.
Should call it a
She's
trans
emotional
because it looked like a straight up man. I'm talking chest hair, a low cut, a very big penis, and was older in age. So he clearly had to be in his 40s. And you can tell the spa workers are torn because you could tell they're uncomfortable. And he's walking around, penis swinging. And they're like, well, if someone identifies as a trans person, we legally can't make them leave.
All right, so I'm gonna stop it there. But dude, there's no limit to the degenerate behavior that you're gonna get from some people. And okay, so it's sports, and girls have to compete against boys in sports. I don't even know how you argue for that. That's absolutely ridiculous. But now we're talking about it's bathrooms, but they're just going to the bathroom. No, this is a man going into a woman's restroom for a reason, and it ain't because he looks like a woman. He's going in there because this is some sort of something that these people get off on. They get off on pretending to be a woman, or I don't know. Do this stuff has got to stop. This has to be the generation that looks back in the history books and be like, well, we're not doing that anymore. We're stopping that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is unacceptable. Anyway, I saw this. I feel bad for this woman. And this has nothing to do with politics.
I feel bad that this woman doesn't have some sort of man in her life that this would infuriate, that would take matters into his own hands.
Well, I don't know that she does or doesn't or whatever. I mean, she filmed this right after walking out of this place. She was traumatized. That woman's traumatized. And I mean, that's what these people are doing. These people being the LGBTQIA plus, two-spirit, whatever. They're claiming territory that used to be safe for women, and it's not safe for women now. So, not acceptable. This dad says no.
No.
If you have a dick, go in the dick side.
Thank you.
I probably could have phrased that a lot better.
That was nice.
Dicks to the right, no dicks to the left. And it's not a no dick just because you cut it off. It's over there.
Dave posted something cool in our news drops over on our Discord server. If you want to go over there and check it out, it's pretty cool. About the Tasmanian. Oh, that's not it. There we go. The Tasmanian tiger. Remember the Tasmanian tiger?
Okay.
So, of course, they are trying to get it back from the dead. It went extinct in the 20s or 30s. That's
yeah.
That's like a still from the last one that they had.
Yeah.
So they're using advanced DNA sequencing in Tasmanian tiger fossils to piece together its genetic code. This technology aims to recreate the species, offering a glimpse into the future of de-extinction science. De-extinction science, JJ.
All right.
Science.
I've seen this movie.
Yeah, I did too in the 90s. Scientists argue that bringing back the Tasmanian tiger could stabilize Tasmania's ecosystem. They believe that its role as a predator could have prevented the spread of diseases like a facial tumor disease afflicting the Tasmanian devil population. Many wonder if reviving the Tasmanian tiger could lead to real life Jurassic Park scenario. JJ and I were just thinking, could this resurrected predator wreak havoc on the ecosystem where it's harmless? Blah, 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 blah. Not all scientists are on board with the idea. Some fear that reviving extinct species could have unintended consequences. You think?
Is that a cat or a dog? Like, is it a canine or a feline? They call it a tiger, but it looks like a striped dog.
I think my crap don't work anymore because I turned it off. I think the Tasmanian devil and the Tasmanian tiger are two different species.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that, but it does. It looks like a mixture of a dog and a cat, don't it?
Yeah.
And I don't. This.
Yeah. It looks like a dog. Oh. Yeah.
But that's a real one.
Yeah, that looks more like a cat. Okay, so some of those other images are fake.
Yeah, I'm sure that one's fake.
Yeah,
that's fake. But these black and white ones, that one is probably real. I've seen this video. There's that video. I've seen that one. That's a steal from that video.
Yeah. Well, so bring it back.
The dodo bird.
No. I think this policy should be entirely. I think that the policy on the things that we should bring back should be based on barbecue and what they taste like.
Have you heard the new theory that that the T-Rex did not have little short arms like we were told? Why in the hell would it have little short arms? But if you look at a bird skeleton and a T-Rex skeleton, what if those little arms that we say were actually the things that on birds, and it had humongous freaking wings?
But wouldn't we see like the shoulder joints or any of that stuff?
That's what this crap is. Because there's every culture from around the world has legends of dragons in their culture. Some cultures even have, you go back so far, and some old recipes call for like dragon saliva, dragon blood. And it's not just like a one-off thing. It's in a bunch. So the word dinosaur only came to being in like 1860 or something. There was other words that they used. So what if the T-Rex, what if we got it wrong? What if it had big wings and it was what the legends say was a dragon? We call it a T-Rex and we've got it wrong. He didn't have little arms. Why would it? I always thought that was stupid. Even as a kid, why it looked funny.
I mean, but they have like arms? Okay, so like if they got the little arms wrong, that wouldn't explain the physiology of having the shoulder blades, the shoulder sockets, and wherever they're placed on the
yes,
bird now. No, because right now they're like kind of like forward of the chest and they're little. But if they were wings, they would be on the side of the body, and the
only reason they're forward on the freaking chest is because we designed it that way at the very beginning. Do you not know why we have how the dinosaurs look like? And they made that crap up. They said, well, we think it looks like this, so let's make this.
Well, I mean, I honestly think it's just a big chicken. So,
and chickens can fly a little bit, and they have wings, don't they?
Okay,
there you go.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like when I was a kid, we had a brontosaurus in the books. Ain't no such thing as a brontosaurus. Never existed. It was two different dinosaurs with bones stuck together wrong.
Exactly.
But I'm sure now that scientists have got it right entirely because they never make mistakes.
Exactly. You're exactly.
We're gonna have to shut it down because I gotta go to the dentist. So we need to do jokes, sir.
Oh, I'm doing my Chuck Norris jokes. I forgot.
Ain't nobody been with us this week. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. What am I doing wrong?
Everything.
Probably.
I've been with you this week. What do you mean?
You know what I mean. I'm talking audience. Audience, dude. Oh my God. Did I just send a joke to the wrong channel?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not on purpose. Oh, geez.
When you if you want to join us on the Discord server, we've got a lot of cool stuff on there. Our conversation continues. This is just a conversation. I can't tell that one. All right, you got one?
Deke. Yeah, I do. Have I ever told you about German sausages?
No, I don't think so.
They are the worst.
They're the worst.
Sorry, I'm looking for my button here. Be patient, folks. Here.
Oh, that's a good one. Did you know that I'm continuing my Chuck Norris jokes here on our show? Did you know that Chuck Norris once punched a horse in the face? And now we have giraffes. Stupid.
That's great. That's really great. All right, folks. Bye. We'll be back tomorrow.
Politicians and talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your dog